Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you today?
Good.
Good.
Nice to see you.
I'm here in the beautiful Ojai Valley. It's January and it's finally over 60 degrees. And I'm here with Emily Thatcher Alaya. And you probably know more about citrus than any other person I've ever met. And so how did you acquire all this knowledge about citrus?
Well, I was born here and grown up with citrus. My great-great-grandmother settled in Ojai in the 1870s, so it's in the family blood.
On the friend side?
Yes, on the friend side. She had one daughter who then had 6 children, and my grandfather, Elmer Friend, was really a pioneer citrus grower in the valley. Cleared a lot of land, purchased this property from the original homestead owners, and he was interested in good tasting tangerines, and he found a market with the Chinese New Year to send tangerines up to San Francisco. And so he was always searching out different varieties.
And what year was that? So what year did he clear this land and establish Friends Ranches?
And really from the 30s through the 70s, he was really active. He died at the age 92, and he worked his whole life, never finished high school, just wanted to grow citrus. But really in the 40s through the 60s, he was sort of pioneer, trying out different varieties. He was one of the first people to plant the pixie tangerine in the Ojai Valley, and Dancy tangerines were very popular at the time.
So his whole motivation was growing citrus that tasted delicious. That's what he wanted to do.
His focus was on flavor rather than size or beauty. His focus was flavor, whereas the other model is big fruit, you know, beautiful fruit, ship it east.
Bigger is better.
Bigger is better, but it doesn't always taste better.
Right, right. And I've tasted your fruit, and it is. We actually just tasted some when we were walking down here to on your beautiful property, and it was delicious.
Yep.
But so, what can you tell? How many different varieties do you grow?
We grow 16 varieties of tangerines, also called mandarins. The 2 most popular that we grow are the Ojai Pixie, which gets ripe March through June, and the W. Murcott, which is also sold under various trade names like Cuties or Delights throughout the state and the nation. But those are the most popular sort of.
So the Pixie, and this is known, Ojai Valley is known as the home of the Pixie Tangerine. And did you help start the Ojai Pixie Tangerine Marketing Association? I think...
I didn't help start it, but I jumped in after coming back from college and being away, and sort of have had more energy than my dad's generation to really focus on Facebook and e-blasts and all that kind of stuff that some of the older generation don't get on top of.
Right. So who started the Ojai Pixie Tangerine Association? My
father, Tony Thatcher, Jim Churchill, Bob Davis, and Mike Shore, and they're all longtime Ojai farmers. They all grow pixies. We banded together so that we would have enough fruit to actually fill a pallet and send it up to San Francisco. This was 20 years ago. And now we pack probably about 100 pallets a week, and we go from March through June, and we lease space in a big packing house over in Fillmore.
Okay. So why does the Pixie grow so well in Ojai? And I have to tell you, I don't think I've ever heard of the Pixie growing anywhere else except for this area.
Well, it takes persistent, persnickety farmers that want to grow it, because you know, these aren't pixies, these are Tahoe Golds, but pixies are generally, you know, we get a lot of this size, which is not big enough for most growers to want to deal with, so most growers just don't want to deal with such a small piece of fruit. It's harder to grow, it takes more pruning, it's alternate bearing, you only get fruit every other year. They're more difficult to grow.
And how many picks do you, so you only get 1 pick off a tree a year, where lemons you get 3 to 4 picks off of 1 tree?
Yes.
So pixies is just 1?
Yes, all tangerines is just 1 harvest a year.
So it really is an exotic specialty fruit.
Yes.
Okay.
And the hard
And what makes it different? I'm sorry. What makes it different than the mandarins and the clementines and the satsumas? What makes it different?
Flavor and
Sweeter?
Not necessarily sweeter, but it has lower, the pixie tangerine has a lower acid content, so it appears sweeter, although it'll have 13% sugar. W. Murcott will have 13% sugar, but the pixie will appear sweeter because it has less acid in it.
Okay.
So, and they really are, I mean, you can eat them and eat them and eat them because they don't have that acid. You know, if you eat 3 navel oranges, you're going to get a tummy ache, but you could eat 8 pixies and
I've done that.
Yeah.
Every meeting I go to in the wintertime when the pixies are getting harvested in Ojai, any ag meeting that I go to, there's always a bowl of pixies and we're all sitting around eating them.
Yep.
And one of the things I also noticed about pixies is their skin is thin.
Yes.
And are they known as zipper skins? They peel very,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you could call them a zipper skin. And the peel on a pixie comes off in one piece as opposed to a navel orange where you've got several pieces, or a clementine that it's sort of a brittle skin is what I call it.
So maybe we can go into your packing house and try a little bit of that. But before we leave, I know in Ventura County there's such a crucial thing going on right now, and we just talked about how nature is in charge, and of course we have insects and they're part of nature, and in particular we have a pest that has been found in Ventura County, and I know you have some definite
it's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary. The Asian citrus psyllid, it's called, or ACP, which can carry a disease called Wang Long Bing, or HLB. So you hear ACP, HLB. The difficult part is we don't want the insect to get established, because it could be that somebody has a diseased tree in their backyard or in their grove. And once we get the insect established, you know, it's like malaria or AIDS or something. The insect can really spread that disease around far and wide very fast. The psyllids are much like aphids. They're very small. They can blow around in the wind. They breed productively.
So you have not found one in Ojai Valley, which is wonderful yet. Thank goodness, yet.
Yes.
But say one was found, how long would it take for it to destroy a tree, for instance, if it was...
The insect is here in California, the disease is not. Once an insect has the disease, if it feeds on a tree, the tree has the disease. The disease is very insipid in that you cannot tell that the tree is infected for up to 2 years. So you could have all these infected trees and not know it, and then they all start to collapse. By then the insect has moved it to all your other trees. You got to bulldoze the orchard. And the difficult part in California is that we're not used to spraying on a calendar basis. We don't use a lot of insecticides. This is especially true in the Ojai Valley. We have all of our other insect pests are under very good biological control. Occasionally we'll have to treat for ants, but we have never sprayed any of these trees with insecticides. We don't own a sprayer. We're not used to dealing with insecticides. It would just completely change the way we grow our fruit. There are a lot of groves in Ojai that you couldn't drive a sprayer through because they were planted densely. There's another whole row of trees. You can't get a tractor through it. So those groves will either have to be bulldozed or take out half the orchard just to get a spray rig in. So it would really change the face of Ojai. The other part of that being a lot of growers in Ojai are hobby growers, meaning that they have 5 or 10 acres. They don't have, 80-acre blocks. And it would just be cost prohibitive to be treating 5 acres at a time. So,
Well, knock on wood, you haven't found it yet, and I hope you don't. I live in the Ojai Valley, and I love seeing all of our citrus, and I know it's a concern for a lot of our citrus growers in Ventura County. It's a huge concern.
The message to the general public is don't move plants around. If you come up, especially from the LA Basin, Mexico, Florida, don't bring fruit with you with leaves on it because you're transporting that insect. Or potentially transporting that insect.
Great advice. Do not transport citrus from other states or leaves or trees from other states, or especially from Mexico. And I just watched you pick, in which variety is this?
This is a Tahoe Gold tangerine.
A Tahoe Gold tangerine. And what's the proper way to pick a citrus? You're not supposed to pull, you're supposed to twist, correct?
Twist. You want to use all citruses clipped with clippers. If you don't have clippers, twist it until the fruit pops off. You want that green button to be on there. If you pull it straight off, you're going to get a hole, and then bacteria and whatnot's going to get in there. So.
But your harvesters use clippers. And a harvest bag.
Yep.
And their gloves.
Yep.
And do they use
sleeves, long sleeves?
Long sleeves because of the thorns. Okay. And you're going to start ramping up here to harvest in April.
Yeah, we've started our tangerine harvest already. We start in December. Different varieties come into season at different times. So.
Okay.
But really, we're very busy in February, March, April.
Okay. So. Well, thank you. And would you mind giving us a little short little tour of the inside of your packing house?
Sure.
Okay, great. Let's go into the packing house.
Okay.
Thank you. It's such a great day today. Yeah. Now we are inside the Friends packing house, and you can see all the different varieties of citrus that Emily has. Now, can you tell us about a little bit about the varieties that we're looking at?
We try to grow a spattering of varieties. We sell at farmers market, so we want something to sell all year. So tangerines start in getting ripe in November with the satsumas, and then we move into the clementines, which are Christmas time. W. Murcots are right now. These are sold as cuties in those little 5-pound boxes. Not ours, but Central Valley fruit. And then we're going to start harvesting our Tahoe Golds and then our Pixies, and that goes into the summer. And they all taste really different. This is a Lee tangerine, which is one of my favorite. They have a really thin skin, but the flavor is amazing.
Lee, and this is one of your favorites.
It's one of our early season favorites.
Okay, and we're on Route 33 in Ojai. This is where Friends Ranch is located. And people can stop here during the week and purchase a bag of?
We are here every Tuesday and Friday morning from 7 until noon.
Okay, Tuesday and Friday morning.
Tuesday and Friday mornings. You can also look at our website, which is friendsranches.com, and we have tours on certain Saturdays in the spring. And you come in here, you learn how to pack the fruit, and then we'll take you into the orchard, and you'll taste everything from several kinds of blood oranges, mineolas, 5 or 6 kinds of tangerines, depending on what's in season. Every week it's a little bit different. So. And
this is an old-fashioned packing house. And it is still it's charming. They've got old-fashioned agricultural equipment, and it's fascinating how you're packing. This isn't a big operation. This is still a family farm.
It's very much a family farm, and you met Reyes outside, and he and his nephew both work for us, and his nephew's son, who's in his early 20s, works for us part-time at farmers markets. So they're really part of the family, as well as my family, the Thatcher Friend family. And one of the reasons why we started doing the tours was because people at farmers markets ask questions, and especially children. And kids don't get an opportunity to see a farm in today's day and age very often. So we really started doing the Saturday tours to try to get people back onto the farm, learn a little bit more about farming, learn our day-to-day, struggles. And
you brought up a very important topic for me because I teach agricultural education to kids, and the Thatcher name is synonymous with education in the Ojai Valley, if not the rest of the United States. Why do you think it's important to teach the next generation about agriculture and farming and to connect them to farms?
We all eat, don't we? I mean, everybody eats. I think it's really important for this nation to realize that growing its own food is important. I don't think it's safe as a nation to rely on places like China and Mexico for our food supply, which really is what we're doing right now. We need a new generation of farmers. And there are quite a few young people in farming right now, especially in Ojai. It's an exciting time. It's a fun lifestyle. You're not going to get very rich being a farmer, but you get to be outside. You get to eat fresh fruit. It's really good. It's a great place for kids to be raised. It's a tough California is a tough place to be a farmer because our land values are so high. But I think it's so important that this nation grows its own food. I just think it's silly to be trucking our fruit in or bringing our fruit in by boat from thousands of miles away. It doesn't make sense.
And yes, and also it's the year 2013, and so many kids are, I ask now, every field trip that I bring the kids on, I ask them, who has picked a fruit or vegetable before? And you would not believe the amount of kids that have never, ever touched or picked an orange from a tree, and how magical and how much they love it and get out of it. And it's very well documented that the benefits of connecting kids to farms and introducing them to the origins of their food. It's something, and as a farmer, like you said, it's something to be proud of. When you're growing food for people to eat, I mean, we depend on it for our survival. And you also brought up another good point. We all eat, don't we? I ask all the kids during every presentation who's connected to agriculture, and they all, you know, look very confused. And then when I say who here eats, and they all raise their hand, and it gives them a visceral appreciation for it. Thank you so much, Emily, for taking the time to meet with us today. And again, your website is?
friendsranches.com.
Okay.
And please visit. We have mail order, and the tours really are fun for the whole family. We've had all ages, and it's really nice. And if your kid has never pulled an orange off the tree and eaten it, please come. It's really a good time.
Yeah, it's a great place to bring your family, to maybe have a picnic, but you also are going to have to buy some of their orange juice and some of their oranges to take on your picnic when you're going up on Route 33 in Ojai. And she is right. These leaves are the most delicious. Oh my gosh.
They just have a deep tangerine flavor that you can't get in a piece of fruit that's come from China.
Well, thank you again. And this is my February Farmer of the Month Grower Spotlight, Emily Ayala Thatcher. And we will see you again next month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Emily invited us to meet one of your employees. And can you what is your name? Reyes
Estrada.
Reyes Estrada, what a great name. You sound like a movie star. And Mr. Estrada, how long have you worked for Emily or for the Friends Ranches?
I started in 1972.
1972.
Yeah.
So over 40 years.
Almost.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that must mean that Emily is a very good boss, and you must you must love working here.
Yeah.
Especially when I was 1 when he got here. No.
She was 1 year old when Mr. Estrada started working here.
Yeah.
And so what are you doing today?
Speaking, change reading, what's called it? Yeah,
You-
speaking today.
And so you've got them all in your bag?
Yeah, they're in the bag.
And which variety is that?
Clementines.
Oh, clementines, okay.
Yes, a lot of kinds here.
And did you taste them?
Yeah.
Are they
tasty.
they're
It's pretty-
ready to go?
Yeah, ready to go. It's pretty sweet.
And this is a gorgeous day to be outside picking fruit,
Yeah,
isn't it?
It's a beautiful day today. Nice.
It is, very nice.
Nice day.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us. And he's got an example of what harvesters use. This is a specially made bag for citrus harvesting. And it's got 2 clips and a large hole in the bottom. So when this is full, it weighs about 50 pounds. And then they don't have to take the bag off. They just unclip the bottom and the fruit falls out the bottom. And then you put them in larger bins. So, well, thank you for making sure that we have gorgeous citrus on our dinner tables. Thank you. Gosh, this is good. If you want juice, this is juicy.
Yes.